RGB lights come in all different shapes and sizes. Finding one that's versatile and budget friendly can sometimes be difficult though. That's why about a year ago I picked up the Ulanzi VL49. Did it meet my expectations or did it fall just a little bit short? Let's jump into it. This light's a CCT RGB combo. So on the CCT side, your color temperature will range from as low as 2500 all the way to 9000 Kelvin. The light itself has 60 LED beads, 20 are white, 20 are yellow, and 20 are RGB. The battery itself is a 2000 milliamp hour battery. The body of this light is an all plastic construction with 3 separate cold shoe mounts, a built-in diffuser, a 1/4 inch mount on the bottom, and it's magnetic. As for the controls, you'll find them on the back of the light. There's a power switch and 3 different function controls. A long press of the main control button will switch the light between CCT and RGB. A quick click will switch between the controls within that setting. For example, in CCT mode, you can switch between controlling the Kelvin and the brightness. Now, the other 2 buttons actually control each of those settings. So if you want to change the color temperature, the left arrow decreases the Kelvin and the right arrow increases the Kelvin. Whereas if we switch over to the percentage, that the left arrow decreases the brightness and the right arrow increases the brightness. Whereas in the RGB setting, you can quick select between changing the colors and the brightness. When you use the left and right arrows, it changes the color of the light. So how would you actually use this little light? Normally, I use this light as a practical light and a product photography light. As a practical light, I typically set it behind me to add some nice blue tones to the back of my shot. So right now, we're gonna go ahead and swap this in so you can see how that looks. All right, so now I have the VL49 set up behind me as a practical light. And as you can see, it gives off a nice amount of light to add some more color and interest to the shot itself. I do have it set to 100% brightness right now because as you can see, it is light outside, and even with the blinds closed, the sun is still competing for light in this room. Now, if it was dark, typically I can have this set under 100% and it still will give off a nice amount of light to add some color to my shots. Okay, so we've seen how it works as a practical light. Let's go see how well it works as a product photography light. Because it's so small and versatile, you can get it really close to whatever you're shooting to either add more light to brighten the subjects, or you can use the RGB functionality to throw some color on your product to make it look more dynamic and interesting. Now, the other main use for this light, of course, is using it for yourself. To light yourself for your YouTube videos, your TikToks, even your photography. This could be used as your main light or as a fill light. I typically use it as a fill light because I have a larger light with a softbox. However, I want to show you guys how this would look if I were to not use my larger light and softbox and just use this little guy. Okay, so now I have my main light off. Let's go ahead and turn on the Ulanzi VL49 to see how much light it adds to the video setup. Now that it's on, I have it set to 75% brightness and 5600 Kelvin. Looking at my camera's screen right now, it's definitely added enough light to make this video usable. So this is definitely a light that if you're looking to up-level your TikTok or YouTube and not looking to spend too much money, definitely worth the option if you want to use it as your main light. However, like I said, I usually use this light as a fill light. So let's go ahead and see how that looks. Okay, so now we have my main light back on. Let's go ahead and turn on the Ulanzi VL49 to see how it looks as a fill light. As you can see, using it as a fill light definitely works really well. It adds a nice amount of light to the right side of my face and evens out the lighting in general. Now, of course, what makes using this light really fun is using the RGB capability to add a different color as a fill light. So let's go ahead and use a blue fill light for the side of my face. Okay, so now we have the RGB on. And looking at myself on the screen, it definitely adds a really nice amount of blue. It really kind of makes the shot more dynamic. I might actually start doing this more often in the future. I typically don't use an RGB color fill. Let me know in the comments though, did you prefer the previous look with the fill light or the current look with the RGB for the fill light? Now, as I said earlier, this light is magnetic. It's one of my favorite features of the Ulanzi VL49 because you can attach it to anything that's metal to add light. Whether you're out vlogging, you attach it to a pole, or you're in your own home and you attach it to something metal to help light up yourself or your subject. There are a few low lights for the Ulanzi VL49. One being the battery. It does last a decent amount of time, up to about 2 hours, but sometimes if you're at 100% brightness, it does drain fairly quickly. However, you can charge it while you're using it. The other negative for this light are the controls. I would have preferred dials instead of tactile buttons. The reason being is that it can take a while to set the light to what you want or quickly change it on the fly, whereas a dial would have been much faster. So what's my final verdict for the Ulanzi VL49? In my opinion, after using this light for about a year, I think it's a must-have for any photographer or videographer's kit. At only $30, it gives you such versatility and capability out of such a small little light. If you're interested in buying the Ulanzi VL49, I left an affiliate link in the description below. If you have any questions about this light, please leave them in the comments below. And if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos. Get out there and keep creating.